How did Logan Paul lose that boxing match? That's what we're going to talk about next. Welcome back to the podcast, Shakers. Derek Van Schaik here. So, did you all see the Logan Paul versus KSI rematch? On paper, it seemed that Logan would easily take KSI. You know, he's bigger, he's stronger, he had a home crowd advantage, he had everything going in his favor. I mean, like, the Staples Center is literally like an hour or maybe like 45 minutes from his house. First thing I want to start off by saying that I did make a video on this on my main channel. And on my main channel, I did call that Logan Paul has the better possibility of winning. He seemed more confident in the press briefing that he had before the fight. This was the first press briefing. He had several others. I didn't really watch those other ones, but at least this first one in LA, right outside the Staples Center, if you recall, that one, he seemed very, very confident. And KSI did not seem as confident. He was bigger, he was stronger, longer reach, so many other things that were just in his favor. Home crowd advantage. There is such thing as overconfident, and that can work against you. And how does that work against you? It's the sense of entitlement that you don't necessarily have to work as hard, whether it's the training beforehand or it's the actual punching that you're doing, right? Because it's sort of like, hey, I'll just kind of give this guy some punches and he'll eventually keel over because I know I'm going to win. So yes, you can be overconfident, and I think that was kind of working against Logan during the whole match. You know, it seemed like Logan was kind of fighting that fight as if it were like a 15-round boxing match. It was only 6 rounds. And it seemed like, at least in the beginning especially, he was just like conserving his energy, you know, not really, you know, hitting as much and kind of defending and kind of keeping KSI at distance. It's like, dude, you have 6 rounds here. You got to make your move quick, you know? And that's the thing too with like the BS of the whole, you know, first round knockout prediction. It never, ever really happens. And the reason why is because if you go for the first round knockout, you're probably swinging way too hard in the beginning, and that guy is already rested and he's going to be able to take a big punch. And if you miss, then you're going to be off balance and he's going to come at you and you can be on your back in a first round knockout. That whole first round knockout stuff is just for the cameras, I think. And these guys can't be serious that they actually think they're going to knock someone out first round. Because again, it's just way too risky. You at least also got to understand how the other guy's fighting, you know, today. I mean, people are going to change, especially someone like Logan and KSI who aren't professional fighters. They haven't like gotten to a groove of what you can definitely expect from them. Yeah, I definitely thought that Logan was way too conservative, especially early on. It was like he was sparring, it seemed like. You know, I mean, that's the thing. When you're in boxing, you have to make a move. You have to go for it. You have to say, you know what? It's time to go. All right. You know, got him kind of on the ropes, so to speak. Maybe he's on the ropes, maybe he's not. But, you know, he's kind of defending. You got him with a few punches and you got to unload on him because, you know, you don't get many of those opportunities. That's the time to just kind of give a flurry of punches. He never really did that. It was like he didn't want to knock him out, to be honest. It was like he was holding him back. It was like he was afraid to really come in on KSI and get close to him. It was like, stay away from me, stay away from me, stay away from me. And that's what it seemed like. He was just holding him off. If the picture that is in my mind of all this is KSI just like, you know, throwing these like tomahawk punches at him. Logan was just dodging them and evading them and trying to stay in the center of the ring and keep him at distance. It's like, dude, make your move. You're going to have to go and encroach onto KSI if you plan on winning this thing. You know, yeah, you technically can win the thing by doing what Logan did, but it's really hard. You know, you're not going to score many points when you're just basically defending yourself the whole time with like, stay away, you know, jab, stay away. And they're all left-handed punches too. He's a dominant right-handed guy. And even the announcer was saying, where's his right hand? He's not hitting with his right hand. He was only like kind of keep him at distance, use the left hand, keep him at distance, and never using that right hand to really, seal the deal and knock him. He didn't do it. During the interview at the end of the fight, Logan even admitted that he was kind of taken off by a little bit, or just taken back by how hard and how much a punch without headgear and, I guess we're 10-ounce boxing gloves felt, because a lighter boxing glove, less padding, is going to hurt more. And I think that had something to do with it. Kind of screwed with his mind and kind of like, whoa, I don't want to get too close. I may get knocked out, because allegedly KSI, and it seemed that way, KSI can throw some seriously hard punches. You see, and KSI was not afraid to get punched. He was like, hey, I'm going to get punched. This is a boxing match. Hit me. I'm going to go and try to hit you. I'm going to try to go in and try to hit you. I don't care if you hit me. But with Logan, it seemed like he didn't want to get hit. It seemed like he was scared to get hit. It seemed like he didn't want like long-lasting repercussions of getting hit, whether it's brain damage or whatever it would be. He was like, I don't want to get hit, so I want to, not get too close to this guy, just keep him off, hold him at distance. You're not going to win a fight like that. And if you look at the difference between KSI and Logan, yeah, KSI left nothing in the boxing ring. He gave it his all. He gave the boxing match his all. And even from the beginning, it was almost like, hey, you know what? I got to score. I got it. The only way I'm going to win this thing is by going after him. And that's what he did. He just kind of just went after him. Yes, Logan's, I think, form and technique was awesome. I think he did a really good job with, how he stood and, how he defended at certain instances and kept him off. But he never, actually went on offense really many times at all. He was just kind of laying back and just holding him off. You're not going to win a boxing match like that. Got to be on offense. You're not going to win on defense. Yes, a good defense can get you in a good position to win on offense, but it's not going to ever get you to win. And this is the thing. On paper, Logan really should have won. It made sense for Logan to win this thing. But that's the thing with amateurs. You don't really know how they're going to really act in the boxing ring because they don't really have a real long track record of, okay, they act like this in the press conference, or, they have acted like this and they've fought like this in this other fight, so then they're going to definitely fight like this. With an amateur, they're constantly changing, constantly evolving. And I think, Logan just didn't really want it. KSI during the whole thing was going after him, throwing these punches that weren't, I would not call them very much textbook, perfect boxing punches. They were not. They were pretty terrible. These tomahawk throws he was doing, of course, but that doesn't matter, at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, it's connecting, getting the hits on the opponent, scoring the points, and hopefully for the fighter to get him on a knockout or a TKO. That is just the name of the game of boxing, is to get the opponent on defense and stay on offense through most of the fight so you can land those punches and score those points. Also, when Logan was walking in, if you notice, Logan was not acting very, very confident. He was kind of looking down. He wasn't looking very determined. To win a boxing match, and this is the thing too, it's different than anything we ever do in our normal lives. It's really coming down to very primal, just instinct of territorial, fighting to the death type thing. Maybe that our ancestors have done probably thousands of years ago. In order to do that, we have to come into the boxing ring focused, determined, and have anger. Just like, I want to rip this guy, and almost like that killer instinct, but you got to unleash that. You have to be like a little psycho, a little off, or at least, be able to funnel that little offness, and do that in the boxing ring. And if you can't do that and the other guy's doing that, you're kind of dead in the water, man. Kind of like bringing a knife to a gunfight, When someone is like that, like KSI seemed like he was, just so determined and so focused and just like, I want to rip this this guy. You know, so much like that, you are going to be at such a big disadvantage. And you're never going to get into the offensive streak to actually get someone off their feet and onto the floor. If you don't have that killer instinct. It would take a lot of prep, a lot of training, a lot of lifting weights, a lot of stamina, and agility type of training to compensate for someone else who has that killer instinct that just wants to rip you apart and is going to do it in the boxing ring. KSI had that. I give him a lot of credit. He did a great job for what he had to do. He had to go on offense, and he did. Logan was on defense through most of the fight, especially in the early rounds, and he paid for it. And he, lost some energy later on, and that was it. And again, the biggest thing is when you have your opponent kind of on the defensive and you already hit him, you hit him again. You keep punching him until you can't punch anymore, or until you hear a bell ring or the ref pulls you apart. You just keep punching him. It's not hard. And I think he held back. And part of it is kind of what, it's funny to relate this to it, but it's kind of like the eye of the tiger that Rocky Balboa had faced in Rocky 3, where he got comfortable and kind of overconfident. He lost it. He got into the boxing ring with a killer that wanted to kill him, and he was still like in sparring mode, like, okay. I mean, what is this? You're in a boxing match. The other guy is literally trying to kill you. No, you got to go after him. And he didn't. And that's why he lost. On paper, he should have won. He didn't have that. I hate to say it's such a cliche. That eye of the tiger. And he was overconfident. Thought he would magically win because everything seemed to be in his favor, which it was. But he didn't execute. It was pretty much all a mental battle between the two guys. And KSI, he wanted it more. He wanted it more than Logan, and he won. Now in the comments below, let everyone know what you think, why Logan lost the fight and KSI won that rematch. Let everyone know in the comments below. Remember to subscribe to the Schaik Podcast channel and podcast so you don't miss out on new body language, investigative, and hot topic reads. And I'll see you at the top.